Wealthy parents instill in their kids not only sound financial practices, but also the belief that success can be achieved by anybody with the right mindset and attitude. This video will highlight 7 attributes that all rich and successful people have that, if we had learned them at a young age, could have improved all our lives. Keep watching to find out what lessons rich people teach their children. Number 1. Exhibit patience. These days, everything must be done right now. We want to stay at home, watch a movie, and get takeout or delivered food. Few individuals understand that success and fulfillment don't come overnight. The poor often have unrealistic expectations for their financial future. For example, poor people play the lottery and delude themselves into thinking that they will win a significant life-changing sum of money. Some even expect to become rich through an inheritance. They have this irrational hope that everything will improve overnight. The irony is that even if they gained access to a large sum of money, they would waste it because they lack the education to properly manage it. All wealthy parents stress the need of learning to think and act strategically over the long term to their children. The wealthy are distinguished by their ability to think far into the future. Patience is a valuable quality that the rich instill into their children for their long-term success and a resource for overcoming obstacles. You can't make progress toward your objectives without it. When things don't go as planned, patience might help you get back on track. It enables you to pause, assess the situation, and proceed with confidence. Number 2. Create good daily habits. Teaching a child to establish a good set of habits and practices for themselves is one of the most beneficial things you can do for them. Realizing the power of your habits can have profound effect on your life. It is believed that it takes just over 60 days to create a new habit or behavior. Once you've given yourself at least 2 months to form a new routine, you're well on your way to making that habit permanent. Most of the time, people who are habitually productive don't have to fight the urge to sleep in, eat junk food, put off their work, or watch one more viral video on their phones in the morning. This is due to the fact that once the system goes into autopilot, the element of temptation is removed. Having developed dependable routines, you can make sensible decisions with relatively little effort. In order to free up more time for yourself, you should make it a habit to regularly manage and improve your workflow. Contrary to the wealthy who harness the power of habit to advance in life, the poor tend to foster destructive routines that keep them poor. The mind's affinity for habits is like an amplifier, multiplying the effects of everything you put into it. If you choose to make habits from positive behaviors instead of negative ones, the results ultimately will have a massive effect on your life, wealth, and overall happiness. When it comes to your child's development, it's important to be mindful of the habits you introduce to them. Kids watch and mimic what they see their parents do, rather than just listening to instructions. Number 3. You must never feel entitled. The wealthy are aware that they risk losing everything if they don't perform, whereas the poor expect others to look after them. Growing up in a rich family has its benefits, such as having better access to skills and resources and not having to worry about life's basic requirements. But it also exposes you to risks that lower-class individuals do not have to face. The stakes are higher, and the consequences for failure are more severe. The children of the wealthy should be reminded that even if they had a head start, the road ahead is still long, and that they must have their sights set on advancement rather than merely coasting through life. They are ultimately responsible for their own happiness, and there's only so much that their parents' money can buy. Children of wealthy families who are raised with the sense that all they need to do in life is to keep the family riches intact are often the cause of its demise by the 3rd generation. The 1st generation work hard to earn the wealth. The 2nd generation typically have less drive than their parents and simply maintain the wealth. By the time the 3rd generation children take over, there is more of a sense of entitlement, expecting success to come without effort or sacrifice. By then, the family fortune is in jeopardy. If you are smart, and of course you are because you're watching this video, then you can use these golden nuggets of advice to educate your children to grow the family fortune instead of letting it dwindle. Number 4. The rich know the difference between an asset and a liability. Spending all your hard-earned cash right after you have it is a surefire way to remain poor. The rich never operate this way. Great wealth is generated by the accumulation of assets, while poverty is exacerbated by having too many liabilities. The issue here is that low-income people have a hard time understanding the concept of a liability. Your car and your house are both examples of liabilities because they cost money to maintain but bring in no income. The same can be said for your fancy tech gadgets, your expensive wardrobe, and anything else you bought on a whim. While the wealthy devote their resources to increasing their asset base, whether through buying additional rental properties or investing in a business. However, the poor tend to focus on more immediate urges. Let's acknowledge though that the rich do indeed have expensive homes, cars, and other luxury items. But it is how they pay for them is the biggest difference between the rich and the poor. The luxurious lifestyle of the very wealthy is paid for by their assets. Luxury items are never purchased with their personal wealth. Typically, wealthy people interested in purchasing a brand new high-end automobile would work out a plan to buy a revenue-generating assets. For example, a rental property can generate enough rental income to cover the monthly car payment. Then once the car is paid off in full, they will be making more money in rent. Also, that luxury car didn't actually cost them any money. Children from wealthy families typically learn valuable lessons about managing and growing their wealth at an early age. Want to learn more about what kind of lessons rich people teach their kids? Then keep watching. Number 5. Money is not bad. It's just a tool. People with financial problems often tend to see money as evil, believing that it is the root cause of all their problems. Worse still, some think that all rich people are bad and corrupt. This is due to the fact that they continually are facing financial challenges that they don't know how to solve. The wealthy people think completely differently about money. Affluent people know that money is just one of many resources available to them. Don't treat money so personally and start using it for its intended purpose. It is simply a tool to be used just like any other tool. Use it wisely and it will help you. When money is viewed as a tool rather than something you associate with misery and hardship, you finally stop letting it bring you down, and your kids will also grow up to see money just like you do. Number 6. Be a likable person. More people should understand the value of being able to hold a conversation with others. Parental success is often measured by how well they prepare their children for the world outside the home. The reason for this is that if your child is well adjusted socially at a young age, their peers will be more likely to invite them to play. If they are well behaved when interacting with other children, the parents of those children will likely want them to play with their children, thus creating strong social bonds. Being with other people helps keep your brain busy, promotes optimism, and opens you up to fresh perspectives. Our brains are actively stimulated and energized while we are having a conversation, giving a presentation, or participating in a group discussion. Being a likable person that others want to spend time with will often present many opportunities throughout our lives. Having an abundance of opportunities and friends that want to help you will inevitably lead to much more success than if you're a loner who nobody likes. Number 7. The rich talk to their kids about money. Parents who have a lot of wealth are more likely to teach their children early on the use and significance of money in today's world. In this way, even very young children are exposed to the idea that they can receive something of worth in exchange for their service. Key aspects of money and finance are shared at an early age. Why some employers pay more than others, how business owners get paid, how to budget, what are taxes and how to minimize them, why some things cost more than others. On the other end of the scale, poor families rarely, if ever, discuss money with their kids, mostly because they are uncomfortable with their financial circumstances. How much money one parent makes or spends is often kept a secret. The only time the children hear about money is when their parents are arguing about it, and the kids consequently develop negative attitudes toward it. Parents always want what's best for their kids. Just because you love them doesn't mean you have to buy them the most expensive clothes, the newest toys, or the most cutting-edge electronics. That probably shows you care about their happiness. The question becomes whether or not you are imparting to your children a vital lesson that will determine their future success. A big part of that education pertains to money matters. Children love it when their parents impart their knowledge. But sadly, studies have revealed that only about half our kids feel that their parents could have done more to teach them about financial responsibility. Your children will learn about money even if you don't explicitly teach them. You have a significant impact on your children's attitude, beliefs, and values around money. Whether it is a positive impact or a negative impact, it is entirely up to you. If you want to learn more about having a wealthy mindset for you and your kids, then click the videos on the screen. If you found this video helpful, we have one more video on what rich people teach their kids. Thanks for watching.